Hello, welcome to Metal Shock Finland. I'm Dave Pierce, and today I'm joined by Owen from Triaxis.
Alright.
Hammerfest 5. Alright, how you doing?
Not too bad, thanks.
When and why did you start playing?
Me personally, or is it with a good band? I started playing guitar when I was about 7, so about 20 years ago. And then I moved on to bass probably about 10 years ago. And I just wanted to play, I'd sort of seen people playing guitar and stuff, and I thought, I want to do that. I was really into like 50s and 60s like rock sort of stuff at the time, so I was like, wow, that's totally how I'm going to do that. And then just kind of graduated up to metal from there.
Which band would you say inspired you and influenced you to play?
Sort of like initially, obviously that sort of thing, like the Beatles and stuff, like really into that. And then sort of as we go into like rock and metal, Iron Maiden, like sort of the biggest influence on me. And you can probably tell when you when you see me play Steve Harris, obviously. And I was really quite into like a lot of sort of power metal bands as well. So Sinatra, Sabaton, that sort of stuff. That kind of comes across in the playing and the writing as well. So,
What was your first album?
it was Paul McCartney, Flaming Pie, when I was about 12. Great album. I don't listen to it too much anymore, I'm afraid.
Can you tell the fans if they've never heard of Triaxis, what style they play?
Well, we used to sort of say like a female-fronted Iron Maiden, and we progressed a little bit. We got a bit more thrash and a bit more sort of just a bit heavier than that now, really. But that's a pretty good sort of way to look at it. It's kind of classic metal, female singer, but not in a sort of like operatic and symphonic way. Just kind of like thrashy classic metal, really.
This was your second time at Hammerfest. Was you more nervous the first time around than the second?
Well, I was a bit too hungover to be nervous this time, to be honest. We did an acoustic set in the barrel, Mash and Barrel, and like that 12 o'clock time came around very quickly this morning, and that was quite good fun though. I was a bit nervous for that. I'm not really sort of the person that gets nervous before we play, but I think having all the stage hands helping you out, and like when you get on the stage everything's so well organised, or any sort of like nerves and stuff just kind of go, because they're just like, right, you're going here, this is what you're doing, and they sort of take control of it, and it works really well.
Excellent. Earlier you done the acoustic session.
Yeah.
What inspired you to do the song that you done?
Well, one of the songs off the new album Rage and Retribution that came out in October, that was, I wrote an acoustic song for that, and we kind of had strings on it and stuff, and it gets heavy like in the middle of the sort of guitars, but we've never really been able to play it live because it's just too much going on. It's like we don't have an acoustic guitar to play and have the sort of original guitars playing. There's lots of stuff going on, so we've only ever been able to do it in acoustic sets. So we played it at Blood Stock in the summer, and we played it today. The other tracks really we think they'll be more interesting than acoustic. So some of them, like they're quite thrashy, you couldn't really do it very well. But the other ones, they kind of work out really well. You kind of you can slow the song down a bit. You can sort of let Chrissy play around with the vocals a bit and make it a bit just something totally different. And I think that's what acoustic sets should be like. It shouldn't just be a copy of everything else.
And then done a set on the main stage.
Yeah. Hopefully, if everybody else enjoyed it as much as I did, then it went brilliantly. It was nice to see like a lot of people in there, especially considering that most of them hadn't heard of us before the festival and sort of just came down to check us out. I remember sort of turning around to look at Giles, the drummer, turning back, and there's like 20 more people over there. Looking up again, there's 20 people. Like sort of everybody sort of came together when we started playing, and by the sort of crowd reaction and stuff, really hope they enjoyed it. They seemed to.
What was the highlight of both of those sets?
For me, personally, I think sort of towards the end of the set, seeing people singing along to the electric set, because it's one of those things that it's only started happening recently since we put out the latest album. Apart from, there was one girl up north who sang along to every song, like when she was probably one of the only 10 people in the room. and she knew all the words better than I did.
Yeah.
But seeing people sort of singing along to the words that you've written, or written as a band or written personally, especially like some of the songs that I've contributed to the album, quite personal to me, and seeing other people sort of singing along to them is just hopefully a testament to like that we're all sort of in it together and we all sort of understand each other.
What have you been up to since the release of your album, Raging?
Well, it's quite a long time coming out,
Yeah.
so we had like a lot of plans and stuff. We went on tour with Absolver, we're also on the same record label as us, in November and October, and we managed to get over to Belgium for our first 2 European dates in November as well. And well, that's just something else. But the people there, fantastic. They came out on a Sunday night when we played at 11 o'clock, and none of them fucked off early. They all sort of brilliant. None of them fucked off early because it was a Sunday. They all stuck around, and to be honest, I wanted to go before they did. They were like buying drinks, free drinks and stuff like that. That was brilliant. We then did a couple of shows around the UK, sporadic ones off that, and we did sort of like a little mini tour with Banco in Casa and Hanging Doll, and they're also on Rock Sector. And the next sort of stuff really is obviously here. We're going back to Belgium next weekend, and then we've got some good gigs lined up for the rest of the year. Hopefully, we've got. Have you got a question about that, or do you want to just talk about it? Brilliant. We're playing with Queensryche in Manchester on the 18th of April. That's going to be brilliant. Our drummer Giles is a huge Queensryche fan as well, so for him that's a bit special. We're then going up to Liverpool in May, Burnley. And then in the summer we're at SOS Fest in Manchester and Les Fest in Scotland. So we've played in Scotland twice before, but it'll be brilliant to go back.
What is your album or track at the moment that you just keep playing over, you know?
For me, it's probably, I don't know, there's quite good ones come out recently. I'm quite a fan of like punk. So the latest Bad Religion album came out in January, and love that. That's just totally going around. Along with the latest NoFX album as well, which came out in 2012. Although probably in the car is probably the latest Sabaton album that came out last year. Just can't get enough of it. It's absolutely brilliant. I went to see them in October, November. Outstanding. Although to be fair, Steel Panther gets put in and out with that as well at the same time, so they're all brilliant.
Talking about the music today, how do you see it? And if you could, how would you change it?
Well, I think I'm not sure this is like the whole view of the band. I think it's my personal view.
Yeah, personal.
So back in like the 70s and 80s, it was a lot harder to get a guitar, a lot harder to get a gig, and sort of the good bands got gigs, and the shit bands, well, they never really formed because if you weren't good, you probably didn't have a guitar. So there was kind of, and there wasn't really with the internet and stuff. There weren't sort of promoters who, and some promoters are brilliant. I've been to places where they're absolutely fantastic. They treat the bands really well. There's always people watching, but you go to other places and they're not, unfortunately. And I think probably the main thing about that is the internet has allowed anyone with a guitar to become a band. And I've been in some of those. Like definitely been in some of those. We should not have been allowed to play anywhere. And we've only played to like 10 people and stuff like that. I haven't looked out the Triaxis. But I think that's probably the biggest bit is everybody wants a bit of live music, but they can't always pull off getting the right bands in or getting the punters down to the venue. And I think that's what puts a lot of people off. It's not nice to watch a band if you're only 20 people in the room, unless you really like them. And a lot of people maybe have no money at the moment. So I think to sort of the change that I make is probably just to sort of the good promoters to try and get them to sort of pick up venues. Rock Sector are quite good at doing it. There's a venue over in Lincoln that they've got really good ties with now. And a couple of venues we've played out around. They know the venue really well. They know people will be there, and it's concentrating on those sort of venues and letting the other venues sort of they need to find their own sort of niche and get people down there for that.
Is there anything
We've got plans. Some of them are probably secret, and I probably can't tell you. Although, find me about 10 o'clock after I've had a few beers, and maybe that'll be different. But we've sort of between it. So the album that we released took a while to come out. So we've had quite a long time in between that, and we sort of you don't ever really stop writing new songs. I think we've probably written one. We will write individually as well, and then bring them to the table. I think you can hear that in the album. They're quite sort of different styles. But I think they're pretty written before like the album came out, and been doing some stuff as well. So at some point we will be putting another album out. We're going to look at sort of focusing on the album that's there at the moment. Though, at the moment, so get as many of those, get as many people to hear it as we like, and it's just focus on that really.
Progress, basically.
Exactly. Just try to just hard slog.
Well,
that's not hard because I don't know, but just keep trying.
Well, thanks for the interview.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot.
Is there anything that you want to say to our readers and your fans?
Yeah, I think it's just proof really. If you try really hard, you can do whatever you want to do. We were here 3 years ago, and I watched Breed 77 and Panic Cell on the second stage over in Pontins, and like 3 years later, like okay, we're not anywhere near that, but we're on the same spot at the festival. Like you can do it if you work hard. Also, buy our album. But you can find out more information about us at www.triaxis.info and links to all our Facebook and merchandise and stuff on that.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much.
Brilliant. Cheers,
you.
Thanks.
Cheers, thank you.